the first thing you need to understand is that the battle, if you like, that commences or that you need to win in order to have a prayer of a high quality and a high standard, it does begin from that very moment that it occurs to you that I need to pray. Now, this is a moment that I advise you and I advise people to really think about what it is that you're experiencing inside of yourself when it first occurs to you that the time for prayer has come. Because that instantaneous or that immediate and that natural reaction to the thought of prayer is actually likely to be very similar to the way you experience the rest of the whole process of prayer, if you like. Because for many of us, when the thought of prayer comes, we feel, if we're true to ourselves and we can almost hear our internal voice, we feel a degree of resistance, or we feel a degree of frustration, or we feel perhaps, oh, I wish, that now's not the time, basically. I'm not ready for this right now because I've got other stuff to do. And whilst it may be natural to a certain degree that we may feel that way, and it may come from within ourselves, it may come as a whisper of the devil, it's very important to be just in touch or in tune with that, to almost separate yourself from yourself, if you like, and to observe the fact that that's going on. On the other hand, from a more ideal standpoint, one would feel a sense of anticipation or a sense of relief, a sense of, oh, thank God, the time has come. Literally, thank God the time has come. As we know from the example, the prophetic example from various narrations, where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may God grant him blessings and peace, was welcomed the onset of the prayer and received it as something, as a relief from perhaps the mundane activities of life or the social interactions. It was a way to escape all of that, perhaps, and to be in the presence of his Lord. In between the sort of the negative reaction on the one hand and the positive reaction on the other hand, there is that kind of neutral space as well. So many of us, for example, we actually don't feel either of these. Maybe we are very habitual in our prayer, but it's become so routine that actually we've forgotten to feel excited about it, but we are committed enough not to feel frustrated by either. This also is a middle zone, which is better than clearly feeling frustrated and resenting in some way, but it's still not enough, actually. It's still not enough to optimize or to get the best out of the prayer that is about to come, because that neutrality, almost that kind of routine, maybe even slightly bordering on boredom itself, will follow you through into the salah, perhaps, and resulting in a salah that also is neither shockingly bad, but nor very, very good, just something in between. So being aware of what we're thinking at this first moment is critical. And if we do feel that, for example, we are in this neutral space or in a negative space, to actually think that through to ourselves and to tell ourselves that, no, that's not right. Like, let me remind myself about what I'm about to do. I'm about to respond to the invitation of the Lord of the heavens and the earth, the one who's created not just me, but absolutely everything out there. And remind yourself about his greatness. Remind yourself about his vastness, his creativity, all his qualities that remind you about how amazing he is. Because one of the things that happens to us is that we take not just things for granted, but we almost take God for granted. We may affirm him with our tongues, but actually we almost forget about him or become heedless about him as we go through our day-to-day activities, forgetting all of the amazing things, the intricate things, the vast number of things that are going on in and around us just to allow us to continue to function as human beings. And all of that relies on his ingenuity, his presence, his being there, and his governing all affairs at all times. Just tuning back into that and tuning back into the occasion of salah and what it actually represents, the privilege actually that it represents, is a way for us to perhaps frankly excite ourselves more about what is about to take place. And so definitely I advise you to think through this carefully and just be aware. The first step then, to summarize, first step is to be aware of what you're feeling when the time for prayer comes. And if you feel that actually you're not feeling much at all, or if you're feeling something negative, then to challenge that and try to move yourself to a position which is, as a result of gratitude and as a result of wonder, to move yourself to a position where you're more anticipating what is about to come.